nanohub.org.
Online simulation, and more for nanotechnology.
All right, welcome everybody. I think this is the penultimate seminar series, the second to last one. We'll have one more next week, but this week is going to be an awesome presentation. We have Kate Alcott from Neotech, the Northeast Advanced Technological Education Center. And she is going to talk about how community colleges can support engagement with military bases to build the micro nanotechnology workforce. So thanks, Kate, and take it away.
Okay, thank you, Jared, and welcome everyone. So as Jared said, I am the Associate Director of Neotech, and I'm also the Veteran Liaison for the MNT-EC Center. So I really like this meme because we were just talking about how worn out we are with Zoom. And I think part of it is when the cameras are off and you're sitting here talking to a screen, you kind of sound and look crazy. So I'm going to ask you all a huge favor today. If you wouldn't mind, would you turn your cameras on just so I can see some people? I don't care if you have bedhead. I don't care if you've been wearing the same hoodie for a week. I don't care. I just want to see some humanity. So thanks for that. Okay. Oh, good. I see some smiles. Good. Thank you. I feel better. Okay. So what's the plan today? Well, basically, I'm going to give you the who, what, when, where, how of interacting with a military population. Okay. Y'all with me? So before I do that, though, I want to give you just a little background into Neotech. As Jared said, we're the Northeast Advanced Technological Education Center. We're located in New York State. Our mission is to provide education and training to support the semiconductor and nanotech industries of New York and Western New England. We've been kicking around since 2008, and our host institution is SUNY Polytechnic. So here's the rest of my team. Bob Gear is our PI, Elaine Garrett, our STEM outreach guru, and Abe Michelin is our managing director. So I want to show you a little bit about where our host institution is. This is our Albany campus. As you can see, it's quite a footprint. This is home of our Nanoscale Science and Engineering College. The outside's pretty impressive. Lots of economic development money there. But if you go inside, it's really mind-blowing. We have all kinds of space, including 80,000 square feet of fabrication space, over 120 wafer processing and inline metrology tools. We have lots of business partners that work with us at this facility doing research on both tools and chip design. So if you move down the thruway, 90 miles, but who's counting, and you head west, you'll see our Utica Campus, and this is where I work. The Utica Campus also has some business partnerships that we're excited about and proud of. Let me back up, hold on, sorry. I've got a very sensitive mouse here. Okay, so this is Danfoss, and they're a Danish company, and they have a silicon carbide power module production plant right on our campus. 50,000 square feet of clean room space up and down. And so they're an interesting neighbor. And then this is really exciting. And this has been just years and years and years in the making from our economic development folks. But we have a construction project happening on our campus, $1 billion silicon carbide fab, which is under construction. This is what it's going to look like when it's completed. And the tenant is Cree Wolfspeed. They're an international company, but they're based in North Carolina. So, okay. So what do we do at Neotech? Well, among other things, some professional development for our community college faculty. We offer all kinds of STEM outreach opportunities, and there's Elaine with some of our younger students in the Albany region. She gives a ton of tours of our foundry and our facilities and works with them on STEM kits we've developed. We also teach the teachers of those students, hoping that they're a little more comfortable with some of their STEM curricula. Abe Michelin has been working with NIST for many, many years. And through his guidance, we have student interns from community colleges that travel to Gaithersburg, Maryland. We have 3 students that go 3 slots for the spring, summer, and fall semesters each year. And one of the things that has really been a boost to our curricular development is our employer training. We have another neighbor near our Albany campus called Global Foundries, huge chip fab, and they have been sending their technicians to us for onboarding and upskilling. This is a great opportunity for us to develop content. Their plant managers tell us exactly the skills that they want and need for their technicians, and we react accordingly. In Utica, we have a very robust refugee population. And we've been scratching our heads trying to figure out how to get to those young refugee students and create some interest in STEM careers. And so what we elected to do, and it's been very successful, we sponsor a first robotics team. And there's our little team, and I guarantee you we have a lot of potential engineers there. Another project that we're working on, and this is fairly new, we're just in the first year of this, it's an NSF funded project. Neotech and Semi teamed up to develop a semiconductor workforce certification for technician education programs. Semi, for those of you who aren't familiar, is a trade group, a trade organization. It has about 2,200 members internationally. And we've been working with community colleges throughout New York State, reviewing their courses in electrical engineering technology, mechanical engineering technology, semiconductor manufacturing technology, and mechatronics programs to see how they align with a competency model. And ultimately, we will have some really exciting news for all of you as we continue down this road in terms of certifications. And then finally, there's our military outreach project. This is my baby. I've been working on this for the past several years. I spend a lot of time at Fort Drum, which is an Army installation in Watertown, New York. It is the proud home of the 10th Mountain Division. There's about 20,000 military personnel located on the space. So I've been throwing out some names of New York State cities and towns, and I want to give you some perspective of where this is. So for those of you who are out in the other parts of our country, and you're wondering, how far are we from the Statue of Liberty? Short answer is far. So as you can see from this map, I don't even have New York City on here. I mean, they don't even count. So what we're talking about here is Albany is in the capital region. That's where our Albany campus is. This is where the Utica Campus is in central New York. And then Fort Drum is upstate in what's affectionately known as the North Country. And this is Canada right here. So yeah, we're really far from New York City. And in answer to your question, I have really good snow tires. So the technician training at Fort Drum, it's been going on for 4 years. We've trained 81 soldiers to date. This has been a research project that has been looking at how do we get soldiers into the program? What do we teach them? How do we teach them? Where do we teach them? How do we get industry involved? How do we track the soldiers after they're done? So there's been a whole lot of work that's happened, and we've learned a ton. And that's what I'm hoping to share with all of you. So, I couldn't have done any of this. We couldn't have done any of this without the help of our community college partners. Jefferson Community College, which is also located in the North Country in Watertown, New York, has granted us some space to use, which has been just a lifesaver for us. And Mohawk Valley Community College has blessed us with 2 fabulous professors. We have Professor Roskopf, Nate. Nate is a mechanical engineer, and many of you probably recognize this guy, Bob Decker. Bob is a professor emeritus at MVCC, but he sure doesn't act like one. He's there all the time, and he's still teaching many courses. He's an electrical engineer by trade. So these 2 guys have worked tirelessly to develop curricula, to develop training tools that were portable, because don't forget, we're schlepping them about 85 miles north every time we offer this training. They teach the soldiers, and most importantly, they've been mentors to these soldiers. These alumni still reach out to Nate and Bob with questions about their career paths or educational paths. So what do we teach? Well, we have a workshop series with several different topics. And how did we choose those topics? We went back to the well of our technician training with Global Foundries. Remember, we have that really strong alliance with a chip fab, and we basically took what they wanted, what they needed for their technicians. We took those topics and we kind of retooled them for this soldier population. So advanced manufacturing practices, I won't read through these, but those are some of the skill sets that we review. What I do want to point out to you, though, is the final exam, which is the construction of this linear stage. This was Professor Roskopf's idea, Nate's idea, and I think it's a wonderful one, because by building this linear stage at the end, we can see if they grasp the topics that we're presenting. The second workshop series is pneumatics technology. And again, you can see the pneumatics trainers. These are all portable units that we bring up to Watertown. At the end of the training, at the end of the workshop, there's the infamous bubble test. And Nate's there with his detergent, and these soldiers are patiently awaiting to see if their joints are tight. Basic electricity and electrical controls. This is a topic that was added this year. We're constantly tweaking this. We base it on how the soldiers do, how they react to the training. And what we found is that they didn't have the confidence that we thought they needed in electrical concepts. So Bob Decker got busy and wrote a whole bunch of content for them. And he also created this portable trainer, which he created several of these actually. And you can see these soldiers working on the labs together. Just to back up a second, the majority of the soldiers that we've trained, I told you we've had 80 go through this program so far. The vast majority have been mechanics, either heavy wheeled, light wheeled, diesel, or avionic mechanics. So needless to say, their mechanical skills are phenomenal. We really don't need to teach them anything there. What we do is we tie in their military skills with industrial skills and say, hey, pneumatic technology is the same, whether you're on a military base or in a plant. But we did find that they weren't as confident in their electrical knowledge. So this has been a great addition and we're really happy with this. The final workshop is, of course, Mechatronics. And we cut them loose on this Amatrol Mechatronics training unit. They get 3 days to play. We cover control systems, sensor types, sensor functions, PLC usage, and a lot of troubleshooting. Nate and Bob are famous for creating all kinds of faults, and these soldiers find them and more. Sometimes they find faults that we never even put in. And then, of course, we talk about how mechatronics is used in industry. I think the secret sauce to this training and what the soldiers find to be really exciting is that they get connected with potential employers during the training. So each day at lunchtime, we have a manufacturing guest that comes and literally does a pitch to the soldiers saying, come work for us. We're a great company. We have technician openings. Here's what our technicians do. Apply. So the employers that we bring, we typically ask that someone come from HR, we typically ask for a plant manager, but what's also been very successful is we ask, bring a veteran, bring someone in your facility that has served so that they can explain what it's like to move from the military to a manufacturing career and how their skill sets are transferable. You can see this is a list of some of the companies that have come and met with our veterans, all but Boeing. Every one of these companies has a New York State presence. That's by design. I really, really, really want these soldiers that are leaving Fort Drum to stay in New York State. I want them to work in New York State. Our manufacturers need them in New York State. However, I'm a realist, and I know that these soldiers have been living in Fort Drum, and some of them just want to leave the snow. 6 months of snow is a killer. So all of the vast majority of these companies have a national or an international presence. And that's really helpful to the soldiers who say, yeah, I'd like to come to work for you, West Rock. Do you have a plant in Texas? And in fact, they do, and we've had a soldier placed there. So that's how this all works. 63 presentations so far from our employers. So just to recap, this is what Neotech's research, veteran research has been about. It's a 72-hour boot camp training. These are the topics that are presented, plus we bring in the employers, And this is exciting. We're in the process now of expanding this. I told you we're always tweaking it. We're expanding this to add 8-week internships. So we're, polling our employers now to see who wants these soldiers after they finish our training to come and do some on-the-job training with them. Okay, so you're all patiently listening to this going, how does this apply to me? What is this about? How can this work at my college? Why are we here? Well, this is going to sound a little crazy, but I think you could be a superhero for your school. Bear with me. It's not crazy. Let me explain why. So I want you to honestly answer these questions. Is your college facing falling enrollment? All the articles I'm reading, especially post-pandemic, are saying that, yeah, this is real. Falling enrollment is real. Are you having trouble filling programs? You can have the best programs on the planet, but if you don't have students in the seats, they don't run. Are you struggling with student retention? You get them in the door, but do they finish the degree programs? And lastly, are you meeting the technician workforce needs of employers? So if your answers are yes to any or all of those questions, then could access to the military market address these issues? And I posit today that I think they could. So I'm going to stop right here. Billy has a poll, and she's going to pop that up on the screen. Right, Billy?
Yes, I am.
And I'm going to take a drink of water because I've lost my voice.
All right.
Okay.
So Kate wants to know, is your college near a military base? And would you be interested in getting some help with assessing service members there to market your programs? Give everybody a few minutes to answer. If you've already answered, take a quick stretch break. Do some yoga, maybe some jumping jack. Getting a really good response rate. I like this.
Good. Good.
I'll give you guys about 10 more seconds. All right. So, is your college near a military base? 38% of you said yes, 48 said no, and then a few of you said it's not applicable. And would you be interested? 41% said yes.
Great.
1% said, or 3% said no. So
Okay.
that's great.
Yeah, good. Okay, this is encouraging. I shall proceed. Okay. So, why am I not moving here? I'm still sharing, right?
Yeah.
My screen's stuck. That's a problem. There we go. Okay. Okay. So let me tell you, let me tell you a little about this market. All right, this military market. Who is it? Who are they? And what are we talking about? So this is from the Department of Defense 2018 demographic profile. And, 1.3 million active duty service members in our volunteer military force. 82% enlisted, 17.7 officers. In terms of the branches, Army is the most heavily populated with 472,000 members. Where are our military stationed? 87.3% are in the United States or US territories. You can see the breakdown in gender. It's a very diverse group, but I want to focus in on education. And I'm going to actually blow that up a little bit so you can see it more clearly. This jumped off the page for me anyway, in terms of a potential market. Of the enlisted folks, of the over 1 million enlisted folks, 80.5% don't have a college degree. That's a market, okay? That should really get your folks in admissions attention. NSF did an info brief a couple of years ago about the characteristics of college graduates with a particular focus on veterans. And two things, it's a great study, by the way, but two things really jumped out at me is veterans were more likely than non-veterans to have attended community college. So they like community colleges. That's a good thing, right? An even better thing is that 35% of veterans, in fact, earned an associate's degree. So that compares with 20% of non-veterans. So not only do they like your community colleges, but once they're there, they finish. They finish the degree program. So again, I think that speaks well for this market. So who do I work with predominantly in this project? I'm working with, and they're called transitioning service members. The military dubs them that. That's the group that are within 18 months of leaving military service. There's a light at the end of their tunnel. So in my case, you know, why I started working with Fort Drum is Fort Drum transitions out 300 soldiers a month. 300 soldiers walk off base and head out to the civilian workforce. I want to catch them before they leave New York State. I want to place them in jobs in our state because we need them. I want to place them in community college seats because we need them. So that's just Fort Drum. Nationally, over 200,000 service members transition out of the military each year. Again, it's a huge number. So when we talk about transitioning service members, you need to talk about the transition assistance program that is available to them. This was established in 1991, and the reason it was established is before 1991, you finished your military career, you signed a few pieces of paper, and you walked off base. Go back to that demographic profile. Most of these soldiers enlisted right out of high school. They've never applied for a job before, never gone on a job interview before. And as we saw in that demographic profile, a lot of them don't have college degrees. So what do you think happened? A lot of them, unfortunately, went on unemployment. They struggled. They really struggled. So this tuition assistance program, or TAP as it's called, was established to help them to be more successful, to have a soft landing when they leave military service. The program was expanded and actually got a lot more teeth in 2011, making pre-separation counseling absolutely mandatory. So every soldier goes through this. The TAP program provides information, tools, and training to help service members and their spouses get ready to successfully move from the military to civilian life. And from start to finish, TAP guides users on their veterans benefits and how to access them, education options, which is where you can come in, federal assistance, and veteran employment help. So to me, this is the portal for you to access this military market. When they're in this transition phase, when they're getting all this support and counseling, that's where your programs can shine. Some of the other services TAP offers, they offer training programs, and these training programs are referred to as Skill Bridge. Those can be accessed in the last 6 months of active duty service. So now you're really at the tail end of your service and you're just about ready to leave. You can take these Skill Bridge, you can participate in these Skill Bridge programs. We'll get to that in a second and I'll show you exactly what they look like. You can also participate in company internships. So the folks in the TAP offices go out and talk to companies all the time about providing internship programs. Interesting note here, if you're a company and you have these active duty service members as interns, you can't pay them. Okay, they're still getting paid by the Department of Defense. That would be double dipping. That's verboten. You can't pay them, but you can certainly teach them, train them, get a good look and vet them so that when they do leave service, you can hire them. Sometimes there's a combo where it's training plus internship. TAP offers career fairs every quarter where they bring in companies from all across the United States, at least at Drum they do, to offer employment opportunities. And then there's these things called career briefs. So I told you I spent a lot of time at Drum. Once a month, I'm up there doing a career brief. And a career brief is an opportunity for you to get in front of these soldiers and talk to them about advanced manufacturing, talk to them about micro nanotechnology, talk to them about what's available to them. So every month I go up there and I do my 30-minute spiel, and I always start by saying, so how many of you have thought about working in manufacturing? And every month, nary a hand goes up. They kind of sit there and go, yeah. And so I say to them, I ask them, tell me the first word that pops into your head when you think of a career in manufacturing. And I'm sure you can all guess what the words are. Dirty, low skilled, boring, monotonous, dangerous, et cetera, et cetera. The old myths, the old dirty manufacturing jobs. So my spiel is about careers in high tech, modern manufacturing. We talk about the opportunities, we talk about the average salaries, and I, of course, promote my training program. So this this transition assistance program, or TAP, where is it located? It's located on all the military bases. And where are military bases? Well, they're pretty much ubiquitous. They're everywhere. And I'd like to take a second just to show you a resource, a website that I think is fascinating. And this site focuses on this Skill Bridge, Department of Defense Skill Bridge programming. Again, this is offered in that final 6 months. These are training programs where the commanding officer signs off and lets this service member go for training. The training can be anywhere from 3 weeks to 3 months. They can come out with some college credits, a certification. It can be a trade type program. There's just a myriad of opportunities here. So bear with me, and I'm going to show you this website. Let me get out of this for a second and show you. Okay, so these are the Skill Bridge locations, and just like the bases, they're ubiquitous, they're everywhere. You can see that. But what I wanted to show you on this site is this is a list of all these programs. And this goes on for 46 pages. What I want to show you is, and I've gone through all these pages and I've looked at all these programs, and I'm familiar with the ones obviously at Fort Drum. So here's one, the ABC construction program. You can see it's a 5-week program. It's just for the Army. And if I expand this, target MOCs, that's military occupational careers. So they're looking for construction folks that have worked on construction in the military. That's their target. And you can see this is really, you know, a craft laborer program. So when I went through this list, I was looking for what kind of programs are there for manufacturing, and I didn't find many. The one I did find, if I could spell, there it is, Heroes Make America. And I don't know how many of you have heard of this program. It's through the Manufacturing Institute. But this is an interesting program, and it's offered to all the branches, and it's at a bunch of installations, I should say, Riley, Bragg, Hood, it goes on and on and on. It's fairly comprehensive. But what's interesting about this program, and if I expand this, at the end of completing this program, you get the Certified Production Technician certification. And I think a lot of you are familiar with that. A lot of community colleges, at least in New York State, use that. And they get 14 college credit hours, which is fascinating as well. So you can see there's a variety of programs that are offered. This is a lower level, kind of a lower skilled than what we're talking about. So I want to go back up here for a second and again talk to you about the separations or the size of your market. So this is an interesting map. Military separations by state. And I'm just going to pick California. Okay, Jared? So this tells me, holy cow, last year, 33,543 soldiers left military service in the state of California. That's a huge potential workforce, isn't it? That is a huge potential of college students in California. And you can do this. You can click on any state, and it'll even give you a trend line of prior years. Now let's drill down a little bit and go to military separations by base. So again, let me go back to California. Let's find a base here. Here's one in Los Angeles. This is small, Los Angeles Air Force Base, 172, okay? You can find bigger ones. There's Coronado, that's Navy, 1654. So anyway, this is how this works. This, may be really helpful for you if you're talking to your college and saying, this is what we have on the base right near us. All right, so we've talked about the market, who's out there, who are we looking at? What about industry? Does industry care? Does industry want this market, this military market? Well, Semi, that trade group I was telling you about earlier, did a little survey a couple years ago, and this is what their members said. A large majority, 77%, believe there's currently a critical talent shortage within the industry, and another 14% feel the industry will face a severe talent shortage over the next 3 years, 2018 to 2020, which is now. And sure enough, they were prescient. that has come to fruition. We are in the midst of a shortage. U.S. Department of Labor put together this 10 reasons why manufacturers should hire vets. And I've been working with manufacturers for years, and this list proves out. Every manufacturer I work with says, send me some veterans. I love to hire veterans. And here's why. They're used to learning new things. Any veteran will tell you that no 2 days are the same when you're in the military. They're flexible, they're adaptable, they're Gumbies, okay? They're leaders, they're proven leaders. Leadership is just embedded in them when they are serving. They understand the importance of teamwork. Try to do a manufacturing function by yourself. You need to rely on a team. And frankly, our civilian workforce struggles with that. They promote diversity and inclusion. They perform well under pressure. Stress is a thing they're very used to. They respect procedures. So an SOP means something to a veteran. And if you're sitting on multi-million-dollar equipment, you want somebody who's going to follow procedures and not just wing it. They're attuned to global and technological trends. The military has some of the most high-tech and innovative equipment there is. They know how to work, and they can be trusted with intellectual property. Many of them have high-level security clearances. They're aware of health and safety standards, and they triumph in the face of adversity. They're mission-focused. And in manufacturing, they're mission-focused too. So let me just pull all this together, this randomness, and again say why I'm here to support you. So if you decide to go down this road and pursue a military market, who would you target? It could be active duty service members, it could be veterans, it could be both. I'm going to tell you, it is easier to work with the active duty population because they're a captive market, so to speak. You work with the TAP office, they're right there. And they're, you can provide your programming to them. Veterans, once they leave service, they kind of scatter to the winds. It's very difficult to offer veteran programming. And what can you offer them? We're offering technician training. You are welcome to all of our content, our curricula, our training tools that we've developed, our expertise, but you don't have to teach what we're teaching, the topics that we're teaching. Talk to your manufacturers in your area and see, what do they want? What do they need? And design your own program. It can be credit, it can be non-credit. When do you offer it? If you're focused on active duty, it's within that last 180 days of service. If you're focused on veterans, you can offer it at any time. Where can you offer it? You can offer it on base, and that's convenient, for the soldiers. And most of the military installations have a lot of space available for educational programming. They welcome you. But I would recommend you not do it on base, and I'll tell you why. There's a few reasons. One, commanding officers feel compelled to pluck your students out of their seats right in the middle of training. If something happens and they need them, they know where they are and they come and get them. When they're on your campus, the soldiers love to leave base. It's a great escape for them. It's a change of scenery. And B, it's an opportunity for you to show off your campus. It's an opportunity for you to sell your facilities and sell your programs. So I vote having it on your campus if you can. How do you do this? You can offer workshops, non-credit workshops. You can offer stackable credentials, combine them with an employer internship program. There's a myriad of ways. And why do this? You're busy enough. Who needs more? Well, I'm not saying that you need to do this. This could be your non-credit side of the house, your continuing professional ed folks, your workforce development folks might want to get involved in this, but why do it? Increase enrollment, provide a workforce pipeline. That'll make you a hero. But I think the bottom line here, I think it's the right thing to do. I think it behooves us all to give back to the folks that have sacrificed for us. So let's do this. I'm here to help. I can't wait to help you. And so reach out. That's it.
All right, thanks, Kate. No, that was a really awesome talk. I think it's great to support our veterans and have programs that are available for them. I think technical education is a great opportunity to provide some of that support. Is there any questions that anyone has for Kate at this time?
So Kate, I have a question.
Yeah.
Yeah, like placement, and are people utilizing those skills that you said you had, are they staying in industry, staying in New York, or do you have any data on that?
Yeah, I do have data.
You don't have to share it. I'm just saying generally, yeah, has it?
Yeah. So, so the ones that I've worked with, the soldiers that I've worked with, about a third are working currently in manufacturing. And I keep in touch with them. 20% went back to college.
Oh, cool.
And they have told us that this really prompted them to go into engineering. So
Nice.
20% of them, a fifth, have gone into engineering programs as a result of this training, which I consider a win too. 20% are working in non-manufacturing, but kind of industrial sales related, not unrelated. 10% are still active duty of the ones that we've trained, so don't know where they're going to go. 5% re-enlisted. The military works very hard to keep them in, especially if they're good. So anyway, that's what we have so far.
Cool.
Yeah, thank you. Good question.
All right, awesome. It looks like Greg Kepner has asked, what person, title, rank, etc. is typically the primary contact at a base to work with in setting up a program?
So I work with the TAP manager, and they're civilian. These are civilian positions. I am heartbroken because my TAP manager just retired, and she was phenomenal. She was an Air Force pilot, retired Air Force pilot, who just put her heart and soul into this. But yeah, it's typically a civilian position, and the TAP office is your first stop. Like I said, it's your portal. It's your portal for access.
All right, thanks. That makes sense. Then another question from Deb Newberry. Do you have a list of skills associated with each branch and soldier or Marine function? Is there categories of soldiers that may be more applicable to various industry segments? Yeah,
so great question, Deb. And there are all kinds of theories on this. So when you enlist in the military, they do some testing, and they toss you into a job. You really don't have a whole lot of say in this. You are thrown into, in the Army, it's called an MOS, a military occupational specialty. Other branches call it an MOC, military occupational career. So you're just kind of flung into this job. Now, some programs, and I showed you when I went to that SkillBridge site, Some, like that construction one, specifically said they want a construction MOC or a construction MOS. I don't limit applicants to MOCs. And here's why.
Right.
Often, like I said, this is not voluntary. You're kind of tossed into this job in the military. Often I find that that's the last thing they want to do is continue doing that job. Okay.
Kate, that's a really good point. I grew up, my dad was in the Air Force till I was in high school, and my son-in-law is a Marine Lieutenant Colonel who just took command of a battalion. And talking to some of his soldiers, and I, there's some of them that are thrown into, a med tech related military function, supporting doctors or that type of thing. And I'm thinking those people may have skills that would very well be applicable to a biotechnician type market.
Absolutely.
That's what they want to do. You've got a good point. The soldier who enlists or the Marine who enlists doesn't necessarily have a choice of where they end up. But I'm making a crazy assumption that these guys or ladies coming out were doing something that they liked and want to continue it. And so I'm just wondering, I mean, is there a list of skills that I can take to a college or a university and say, hey, these guys that are doing this at Pendleton in California have these skills.
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking about.
Yeah, and there is. I can give you that, Deb. I can send you that. It basically crosswalks the military occupational specialties to different careers. Okay. What I do on my application, rather than ask for their military occupational specialty, I say, do you have any training or expertise? Do you have any familiarity with mechanical and electrical concepts? For example, one of my best students was a cook in the military. But in Nigeria, he had studied electrical engineering. Now, why he was put in a cook position, I don't know. That's what the Army did. But he was brilliant in this class. So if I had limited, soldiers to only those with that MOS, that, mechanical MOS or an electrical MOS, I would have missed him. But what he did say on his application is, oh, by the way, I studied 3 years of electrical engineering in Nigeria. So we took him. Okay. But great question. Thank you.
It looks like we have one more question, and it's about whenever you do your program, if you have to go off base, is there a process of how would you arrange the military personnel to go off the base to do the program?
Yeah. So they have to get permission to go off base, and so our program is off base. We're at Jefferson Community College, and they just get command approval, and that's all coordinated through the TAP office. I mean, you work hand in glove with that office about everything.
Cool. I think that's we're getting to almost 10 o'clock. Thanks again, Kate, for an awesome presentation on a really important topic.
Okay. Thanks, everybody.
Kate, I will